I've started recording, so it's thing. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Coffee Club podcast. I'm joined here today once again by Ainaba. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? It's me.
Oh. We're just going straight.
Wait, that was a bit. We just recorded another intro, and it was like you were doing a Batman Dark Knight intro.
I was doing a Christian Bale Batman voice, and my throat couldn't take it, and then Fraser responded.
Try it. Do it again.
What was it? So tell me, do you bleed?
Wait, let me try it. So tell me, do you bleed? I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah,
is that okay?
Do you bleed? You will. It's because I haven't drank anything much.
I can do the Joker.
Yeah.
I'm not a monster, but the Camcast is.
Well, you see, my father was a liberal.
You see, my father was a liberal.
And a gamer. It's just fucking... we've come... If you've watched the previous episode of the Coffee Club, you'd know that we're right on the coattails of recording a very long run about the Fox franchise.
And that fucking Phoenix. But what if this episode comes out before?
That would be really awkward.
maybe we should do it because that would match the timelines of Days of Future Past and all of that.
That is very true.
Oh, we should so do that. It'd be really smart.
We are comedians. We are smart
funny.
comedians.
We are funny. That would genuinely be really. When does Dark Phoenix come out? X-Men Dark Phoenix?
June the 7th.
June the 7th. I mean, if we released this yesterday. Oh no, but can we really release a preview on the day of release? We can't really do that.
Yeah, you can't really do that. But you know, as in we could go into the future. But this is gonna sound so weird if you haven't watched the Coffee Club one before.
Yeah, I guess we probably shouldn't do that.
Probably shouldn't do that.
We won't do that.
But since we began on a Batman note, we should immediately jump
right in.
Oh
shit! That's what we're actually talking about today.
Yeah. we went into this and we were just like, wait, what are we talking about?
Because we just recorded for like an hour and a half on another episode, which was probably way more in detail than this one's going to be. This is literally a short. Well, we say it's going to be short. We hope it's going to be short.
We hope it's going to be short. We have a tendency to chat for a long time.
Yeah, because we just spoke about the fucking entire X-Men franchise and everything else to do with it, and now I kind of wanted to talk about Robert Pattinson and big old Batman, and
he's already spoiled the news already before we can give a big build up to it. But yeah, pretty much the news came in. Robert Pattinson's officially the new Batman. The vampire turns into a bat.
If you don't know who Robert Pattinson is, you do know who he is. He was Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter.
Cedric Diggory.
Diggory, yeah, and he was fucking Edward Cullen in the Twilight
series. And that's probably the only two things you probably know him from, because
you are fucked up and don't watch indie films. Neither do I.
Yeah, pretty much. I was gonna say, because you don't watch any of the films that he's been in since then, and you would know that he's kind of decent in all of them.
I know he's actually very good.
He's a very good actor, and he suits the role. He's even
got the chin.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, down to the jawline. His jawline is suited for Batman.
Yeah, he is like the literal like fucking young Batman.
He could do the Bruce Wayne and the Batman.
Yeah, he's got
and he's got the physicality as well. And he can do choreography and everything.
These sick bastards on Twitter who were making polls and shit to not want Robert Pattinson. Why would you not want him? People genuinely want them to go for... Who do they want him to go for? Who would be the alternative actor?
That's exactly. They'll be like, oh, someone else, just not him. Or they'll be like,
Jared Leto.
No, they went, bring Christian Bale back. I'm like, do you think Christian Bale wants to be Batman again?
There is the potential that this dude's going to be better than Christian Bale.
Yeah, and I think he is. He just is.
I mean... The reason The Dark Knight was so popular was because of the Joker, really.
I know, not just that as well. Christian Bale did do a good job of Batman.
Oh, I'm not saying he's bad. I love the
the Joker elevated the popularity, and it was like, because Joker was there. It was the first really, really good adaptation of the Joker since Jack Nicholson, I'd say.
Yeah, and I don't even really like them films.
And exactly, didn't really like Jack Nicholson as the Joker, but it still works. That's what made it really good.
Yeah.
But it's like with Batman, it's like Robert Pattinson it's another British person doing a role that an American does. Like you had Christian Bale doing it, and then you had Henry Cavill doing it for Superman, and now you have Robert Pattinson doing it for Batman.
It's almost like British people are really good at acting.
Yeah, better than Americans.
Do you know why though? Do you know why?
Why?
Even Tom Holland does Spider-Man, because British people, especially people without northern accents, southern British people, have the very, not plain accents, but the beauty of being British is that you can change your accent so fucking easily, because it's not we do have distinct accents. I don't know what the word is, but we don't have like that
adaptable accents that can easily
it's the most adaptable accent, because it's like Australians and Americans kind of do struggle with being able to adapt their accent, because it's so I can't think of the word.
I would say
you know where I'm coming from though.
Is it like fluid? I know what you mean.
Yeah, but with British, you can really turn into any form of accent.
Also, it's also the fact that American industry, like UK people, have been surrounded by American industry since they were younger. So being conditioned to watch American programs on TV, they know the accent in and out.
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons Tom Holland probably masters the New York accent.
Yeah, because he is his him in interviews and everything, and also him being in that one play that I remember my school was a part of. He's British as fuck.
Yeah,
he is like, you look at him and you think British, but then you hear him as Spider-Man, you're just like,
it's so natural as well.
You're like,
I don't get thrown off genuinely when I hear his accent. I'm like,
I don't get thrown off. No, that's the scary part, because I'd watched him when he was in those independent British period dramas, and I was like, this is not the same guy. Yeah, legit. They can't be the same guy. And that's the thing. Robert Pattinson, he's got everything going for him. And anyone who says
insane, and he's even, because Batman obviously gets a little bit angry here and there, and he can get really angry in terms of his acting. There's that one scene of when his fucking veins pumping out of his head, pretty much.
Yeah, and he's angry.
He's fuming. I'm like, he's gonna be perfect for the role.
And not just that as well. I was gonna say, what's it called? Robert Pattinson's having a good year, because did you hear that he was casted in the new Christopher Nolan film?
No.
The upcoming one. He's playing the lead character in Christopher Nolan's next film.
Holy shit! So this is the first. This year is when he's making
his comeback. His comeback break. I love
man.
The redemption arc. Him. It's really, really weird. Him and Kristen Stewart have done so well since Twilight, but Taylor Lautner hasn't.
Oh yeah.
That shows that Edward was the right person all along.
Oh yeah.
Edward was the right person all along.
No, legit. I forgot who that was for a second.
Yeah, exactly. Taylor Lautner's only been Taylor Lautner could have easily gone the Channing Tatum route.
Yes, he could have.
He was like, he's literally B-Tech Channing Tatum, because he's been acting in comedies a lot more as well. He was good in Cuckoo. That BBC Three show. Yeah. I will say that he was genuinely good in that, but he could have been like the Channing Tatum 22 Jump Street level, but he isn't.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's just the casting as Batman, and Matt Reeves as well, and it's a Batman trilogy by Matt Reeves. If you don't know who Matt Reeves is, his previous film was the Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Wait. Batman trilogy?
Yep.
I thought it was just one film.
It used to be one film with Ben Affleck. It's a Matt Reeves trilogy.
So we're getting 3 Batman.
We're getting 3 Batman films with him.
Are we going to get another Joker?
Well, of course.
The third
we have one.
No, but like, they're going to combine universes.
Exactly. You do realize that part of it is still DC.
Wait. So you're telling me DC are world building for the first ever fucking time?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're doing it.
They I know Wonder Woman was decent and then Aquaman was okay.
But
just
still made $1 billion, but yeah.
Fucking bin it. Just set it on fire, throw it in the trash, and get rid of it. And
Shazam,
then,
the new Batman.
Just get Shazam. Yeah, literally. Okay, that also, there were Superman references and Batman references for sure, but we can retcon that.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't show Superman's face as well.
Because they're recasting him. Also, Flash is going.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Retcon Justice League. Bin it all. Bin them all.
It legit seems like they are doing an X-Men in a way.
He's putting together a team.
They're legit building a world, which they should have done it in the first.
They should have done this like 10 years ago.
It's like it's genuinely just because they saw the hype of the MCU and the
I
Avengers.
know, but now they're doing it. They should have done this like 5 to 10 years ago when it mattered. It's like,
do you think Disney are looking at this now and they're thinking, wait a second, somebody at the fucking Sony board's been fired and replaced or something, and now they're actually
the Warner Bros board, the guy has been fired.
Yeah,
Zack Snyder's been fired.
Yeah, they're getting their fucking act together.
Yeah, I love how Zack Snyder. I really love seeing Zack Snyder fans and stans on Twitter constantly call for the Snyder cut.
How does he? No, why do people care about the Snyder cut in 2019? Like, genuinely. There's been so many directors in the world that have had their visions destroyed. And okay, Zack Snyder probably did have a lot of his vision destroyed. But like, it's done. It's over.
It's done, and it's not even just that your vision wasn't even good in the first place. It was only good on a superficial level. And I'm not even going to be... In fact, I was about to say something that I felt was a bit controversial, but I'm going to say it. It's controversial, but it's like a very specific demographic of people who want, like, it's Zack Snyder fans that are overly religious, gullible kind of people, because Zack Snyder...
What, really?
Yeah, it was religious people are very into Zack Snyder stuff, because Zack Snyder... Is that
why he tried to make Superman God?
Like, yeah, God, or Jesus, like Jesus kind of... That's why there's lots of Jesus imagery in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
I thought that was just to make it look cool.
No, he also went to promote the film with churches as well before it came out.
Bro, that's a bit weird.
Exactly. So imagine these same kind of people
Aren't these
that go on
films meant to be like... I thought the whole idea of Superman...
this is for children.
This is
for children.
Yeah, but I also thought Superman's like this dude who protects everyone. Superman, hey, fucking Iraq, Afghanistan. I know you've got them problems going on there. I can't help you because I'm kind of tied down to the Catholic Church. Right now.
Exactly.
So
like, no.
the Pope told me. The Pope said, "I look. I know you've got them little bomb problems going on, and I know there are a few people with a few guns, and I know there's a few illegal wars going on, but I just can't really help you because you're part of that Islam something. I don't know what it is.
Something to do with Islam. As my symbol is for hope or anything. What's your symbol about?
And that Palestine thing.
It's like I don't want to get involved in that one. And he just stays there. He just stays there in the church. He just goes there as Clark Kent. He just goes there every Sunday. He goes there, just goes for a toilet break. Then comes the Superman, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
So Superman's just flying. Like, if Superman's flying along at America this month, he's fucking flying along, and he lands in a state, and he's like, "Ooh, anti-abortion rally. I need to be
anti-abortion rally.
Superman is a Christian, so he's just gonna be.
He's floating in front.
Is Superman for anti-abortion? That's what I want to know.
That's the real question, because it's like maybe the actor is, but is Superman? What is Zack Snyder Superman? Because the actual Superman would be like
pro-abortion,
and it would be like, well, I'd say. That's a very but I'd say it's like it's something that we probably shouldn't get into on the podcast. But like,
well, I'm just saying it because I'm pro-abortion.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like Superman is he's a righteous man. He'll find a way to sort everything. As in by pro-abortion, he'd probably fly around the world multiple times to prevent the pregnancy from even happening.
What, to slow down to reverse time?
Yeah, he'll just fly around the world and turn time back 9 months. Oh my god. How have we turned this?
Superman ends all pregnancy problems.
It ends all the pregnancy problems by going back around the world and saying, stop!
Maybe that is what Justice League should have been.
That's what Justice League really should have been.
Wonder Woman gets pregnant and she's like, oh fuck, I've got that superhero shit going on. I kind of need to fix this. He's like, don't worry, I'll fly around the planet.
Like him and the Flash could just go around the world multiple times. He's like, hey, and he just burst in like, stop! It's just like that. It's like literally the cosmic cock block. It's like literally, oh god! But it's like Zack Snyder has turned Superman into like a
religious beacon.
Like exactly a religious.
I never
beacon.
thought of it. I legit just thought the whole thing was like, I guess, cool imagery, because
exactly, but
religion can be used for
but that's
cool
the thing,
imagery.
it's suited. That's the thing that he does that. Like that one scene where Superman gets nuked in Batman v Superman and he's just flying around in space like his arms spread, and you're like,
yeah,
it was like that Game of Thrones scene with the cinematography. You're clearly trying to make him look like Jesus.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Because like religion is very good for cinematography. Like I think Hinduism is used quite a lot.
Yeah.
Islam is used quite a lot.
Buddhism's are used a lot as well.
Buddhism's one of the main ones, isn't it? Buddhism's used in a lot of fucking shit.
And it's like you've got all of these kind of things in the film, but the problem is Zack Snyder has this pseudo-intellectual kind of air around him and his films, where it's like he's he thinks his films are cooler than they actually are in terms of a story. Everyone's like, look at these cool visuals, but the visuals don't mean anything when the writing is shit and everything. It's like, I can understand you trying to do the whole thing about heroes being questioned by the public, but heroes being questioned by the public is something that you need to do, but build right. Yeah. You need to build
that's
it
what
up
we
to.
say. I mean, this is probably why it's best to release the last podcast first before this one. Because we were speaking about that in the last episode where we were basically saying that the idea that the people questioning superheroes has never happened in the MCU, but it has happened in a DCEU, but it just didn't really work well because it was just weird. It was there was no build to it. Yeah. Whereas in the MCU they could really do it well with Oscorp coming in,
and also they had it in a bit with Agents of Ultron, which was 6 years after Iron Man,
and with the Sokovia Accords.
Exactly.
We forgot to mention that in the last one, but I'm just fucking retconning that.
Yeah.
With their obviously the government started to question it with the Sokovia Accords, but that was more government wanting to control rather than the public actually questioning it. The public at this point haven't questioned it other than Sokovia and Wakanda.
and also that person that got killed in Nigeria.
Yeah, wasn't that in Wakanda?
No, that wasn't Wakanda. That was
no,
Nigeria.
yeah, of course it was.
Nigeria at the beginning of Civil War, where Scarlet Wonder shot him up into a
and
hospital.
And that leads to the Wakandan embassy coming out. Yeah. Sorry.
So it's like this whole thing. That's the problem, because you had one film. You had Man of Steel. Okay, good destruction and everything, and even in that film, at the end of it, Metropolis was suddenly rebuilt and everything. Well, that's the problem. You have all that destruction in the film. I know people are gonna be. It's like Zack Snyder. He previewed the film and the film came out, and all the YouTube comment sections were like, "Look how much damage it's done." Like, oh, he's damaged the whole thing, but he somehow saved the city. And it's like, yeah. So Zack Schneider probably looked at that and said, "We need to address this somehow in the next film." Everyone, and then he decided, Superman. Everyone hates Superman now. This guy saved your asses in the last film, but we hate you now.
It was one of the problems with the Sokovia Accords. It was because the MCU kind of tried to do it, and it was like, it seemed weird because when in Civil War, when they're sat down and the general is showing them all the destruction,
is showing them all the destruction.
Yeah, half of it's not even their fault. The only one time it's their fault, I think, is Scarlet Witch.
Yes,
and even then, it was still questionable because she was just trying to stop an explosion from killing everyone. Because if that explosion went off,
there would be more casualties.
There would have been more casualties.
Everyone would have died.
Yeah, so it's like it's like. It's not that hard to do, really. It's just you need to time it well.
You need to time it well, and you need to make it in a position where people actually question it without it looking stupid. Like with Avengers, all that destruction happened, but they saved everyone.
Yeah.
In Man of Steel, Superman, okay, they fucking flung him through buildings.
Look at Endgame. Half the universe, mate. Half the fucking universe ended, and it was the Avengers' fault technically because they didn't stop Thanos because of their own. The Civil War is one of the reasons Endgame happened, because Iron Man and Cap didn't put their differences aside until fucking Endgame.
Until it was. Until it was too late.
Until it was too late. It was the Avengers' fault that Thanos got the stones. Pretty much, they could have stopped it, but they didn't because they had their personal issues. But even in Endgame, the people didn't hate them. Captain America was sat with a group of people, like they were all consoling each other at that big little event. And it's like people weren't blaming people. It was like
they were moving on.
You have to make realistic storylines. You have to make the way to do it is a superhero goes bad. Then you can make it. The people are like, if this guy goes bad, what if the others go bad? Mm-hmm. So that's what we need. You can't just take a cataclysmic event and blame it on people, because that isn't realistic. Mm-hmm. It's not like, I think in the real world, if a war happens, you don't blame the public, you blame the government, really, don't you? And even then, in some cases, you can't really help it. In World War II, I'm sure a lot of innocents got killed by the British, but it's like, that's going to happen. That's war. Innocents that's what Game of Thrones was master at. Innocents always die in war. That was the whole point. But then in the last season, they took it over the top, because that's why people were frustrated with Daenerys, because she needlessly killed the innocents. Whereas it's like it's hard. You need to make somebody a villain. And from a hero to villain, and to people to question this person. It needs to have actual story there, and that's the main fucking issue with Civil War, Sokovia Accords, and then with the DCEU.
Yeah, and it's like I hated it so much in Suicide Squad, where Waller said, what if Superman reached down one day and plucked the president out of the White House? I was like,
yeah,
you wouldn't do it. Why would
it's the equivalent of saying, what if America dropped a nuke on Britain? It's not going to happen. They could do it, but it's not going to fucking happen, is it?
And it's like, oh, you need a bunch of people to keep him in check. All right, so let's get a crazed nutcase with a bat to stop Superman. She's gonna whack it on. It's like, where in the fuck would the Suicide Squad be useful if Superman went to kill the president?
Yeah, it's just...
The Suicide Squad, a group of the top criminals who most of them are human as well.
Surely you'd create like a force of supreme assassins, right? Good people, like highly trained military people.
Like the Justice League couldn't even stop Superman when he went rogue for a few minutes in the film,
and like it's like the whole thing is so weird, and that's why I'm so glad they've actually got their ideas together.
And they're retconning everything, and Zack Snyder's not there anymore. I am so happy Zack Snyder's not there anymore.
I think it is the hidden plan. I think they do want to kind of make this new universe for the Joker, because right now they haven't said they're together, have they? They've said they're separate films in other Elseworlds. That's it. And
the TV shows as well. They're Elseworlds.
But I think eventually they'll connect them. I think it does depend on how the Joker film does. Because,
I don't think it's gonna do well.
And right now
it looks shit.
The leak
script is legit.
Yeah, and it's
very bad. And also when the director was announced, I was like, oh god.
Yeah. It's the one problem.
The problem is Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
He will master that film.
I think he'll carry it.
People will get by a shit script if he's a good actor for it, and he's a great actor for it.
We've had shit scripts in the MCU.
Yeah, I know. I will meme that film because of the behind the scenes footage was the funniest thing ever. But
arguably, Iron Man has a pretty wank story.
Well, of course it has a wank story as well.
But it's fucking carried
because Robert Downey Jr. carries the hell out of it.
The Iron Man story is so cliche and generic. Good guy, but sorry, like not villain, but like dude who realizes he's doing bad, wants to become good, creates super fucking robot suit, and then his best friend betrays him.
And he says, I'll make you, but better. I made a few adjustments of my own.
Makes absolutely no sense, because after he kills Iron Man, what's he going to do?
What's he going to do?
Go to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes no sense, absolutely no sense, but it's carried by good acting. So there is still hope for
It's good
Joker.
acting, and the fact it was like the first of its kind.
And there's a lot of hope that I still think for the Joker.
Yeah,
I
don't think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be passable, but Joaquin Phoenix will be the standout.
I think it may be good for the regular audience who don't watch.
I'd say it's going to get Man of Steel level numbers, like 60 to 70%.
I think it'll get like a 72 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'd say it's going to be rotten, mainly because the script is really bad. The script is really bad, but like,
you don't think it will be carried by the Joker brand?
No. Jared Leto, everyone said that about Jared Leto.
But he wasn't really in it much, though.
He wasn't getting much, and he was acting like a dumb twat off camera.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's pretty dodgy shit. But I don't know. I think the Heath Ledger left a weird curse.
It left. Everyone thought Jack Nicholson wouldn't be like, Jack Nicholson had the looks down and the kind of mannerisms down because of his own performance, and everyone thought that wouldn't be topped.
Heath Ledger topped it.
And arguably the one person as the Joker who has never been topped is Mark Hamill. As the voice of the Joker in the Arkham. I'd say people are going to be like controversial and stuff, but I'd say the best performance and the best Joker came from Arkham City. Like Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
People do say that.
Yeah, I'd say Arkham Asylum and Arkham, and I'd even say Arkham City is the best Batman products.
Really?
Yeah, ever. Arkham City.
Yeah.
Because Arkham Knight wasn't that good compared to the others. I'd say Asylum and City were generally one of the greatest superhero games ever made.
Yeah.
I think the greatest superhero games ever made.
That's fair.
As in, not even Spider-Man, I'd say top set.
Really?
Arkham City was. You play when Arkham City came out, that was genuinely, it was the buzz. Everyone was legit.
I remember.
Arkham City is one of the games that genuinely got nominated for Game of the Year. Like, it was genuinely god tier. Like Batman was feasting in 2008. He was feasting those years.
Yeah,
it was like
really, really good years.
It had the Dark Knight and the Arkham series, and it's like I hope they have that kind of stuff again now because Injustice was genuinely really good. You had what the Batman thing? You had Lego Batman. Lego Batman's really good and is accurate as well. And you've now got Robert Pattinson. Hopefully, he'll do well with the trilogy.
Yeah, I think Batman and Superman are probably the most. Batman and Spider-Man are probably the most consistent in terms of
quality.
Good quality. And quality. I know Suicide Squad Batman was ruined, but that's just one.
And also, you also say Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So like, because Spider-Man's had its hits and its misses.
There's been a couple. There's been a couple bad ones. But overall, I think Batman and Spider-Man are probably the most consistent superhero franchises.
Which segues us because we want to keep this a bit compressed. It's 25 minutes on.
I want to talk about.
I was going to say leads you into Deadpool.
Yeah, and Venom, because there's been talk about. First off, last week a story came out where it's like been pretty much confirmed by a leak that Marvel are trying to think about how to introduce
Deadpool into the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
and their plan was originally Spider-Man.
Yep.
But then this week, weirdly, another leak came out, I guess, or there's no real evidence that it's real, but there's no smoke without fire sort of thing.
Yeah.
That basically, and a lot of it makes sense as well, that basically Sony have told Marvel or Disney that they want Venom in Spider-Man 3, which is kind of like it's deja vu all over again.
Yeah.
And right now, I feel like the plan for Spider-Man 3 is Sinister Six. I think they are setting up Sinister Six. We've never had Sinister Six ever, and I still think Sinister Six would be better than Venom. But I want the introduction of Deadpool into the MCU. I think logically, Spider-Man may be Deadpool's kind of best bet because they're both quirky characters and they are they've had comics together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you concentrating?
Yeah, I am.
I'm not too sure because it's a really complicated one to see how they introduce Deadpool into the MCU because obviously he's so meta, and I guess in a way they're gonna have to release the meta, get rid of the meta humor.
Yeah, it would definitely have to because they'll be like, oh, this kind of references won't fly. We want to play this straight, and it's like, you know. Yeah,
you can't. I think. But people will say it's Deadpool. You can't have Deadpool without meta humor. Deadpool does have some serious storylines, and like when you look at Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1, they are still serious storylines.
I know, no, but Deadpool 2 was like, because Deadpool 1 it was like but
Deadpool 2 was deep.
That was deep. Yeah. Genuinely, I when I watched that in cinemas, I genuinely was like, holy shit.
He got depressed and tried to kill himself.
Like, yeah, he got that's in the beginning, and also the initial death and everything, and also the rendition by Celine Dion in the beginning was so good, and then the ending when he sacrifices himself.
Yeah,
I was genuinely like, shit. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
like,
really good.
Even if it played off with a joke, it went in like, whoa.
Yeah,
so
Deadpool can fully work as a jokey character and I think the meta humor will be there, but it will be very low key. Yeah. But it's almost like that will be even better because it's like you really because like in Deadpool the novelty doesn't wear off, but like it starts getting a bit like it's not surprising anymore.
It's not because before it'll be like he did this, but I remember some jokes in Deadpool 2. I was like, he did the thing where he mentioned
the Thanos one was
cool. Exhibit Thanos. I was like, ooh, okay, all right then.
I like that.
I was just like, because I think sometimes it's like when you see some of the jokes he make, and it was like, oh yeah, he mentioned the thing.
You're so dark. Is this the DC universe?
Yeah, I was like, okay then. I was like, okay then, but I was like, oh wow, you mentioned the other brand. Wow, funny. It's like,
it's not. Deadpool can be funny without meta humor.
Yeah, as in it was funny. It had its own really funny jokes in the film, but it's
maybe
like
Deadpool would work with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ant-Man and Spider-Man are probably the best bets.
Thanos anus jokes in Deadpool.
Imagine.
It was like, oh, it's just throw me in the anus. Just probably get that kind of stuff.
It's gonna be. I genuinely think he may be one of the first X-Men to appear.
Yes. He's the easiest one to integrate.
I would say he's the most. I honestly believe he's the most valuable X-Men character now.
Yeah, he is. He has the highest grossing R-rated film of all time.
I think he's more valuable than Logan.
Of course he is. Because
which is fucking nuts. We wouldn't have thought that 10 years ago, would you?
But even then, Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1 are the two highest grossing R-rated films of all time. So of course, X-Men or Fox are going to value that so much.
Yeah.
The return on investment on the first Deadpool, my God.
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
like
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and then the second one, they made a slightly bigger budget but kept it low.
And this is the only Fox character which is not going to get recasted.
Yep.
There is no fucking chance in hell they would
refuse.
They can't, because it's like Tony Stark to Iron Man is what Ryan Reynolds is to Deadpool.
Yeah.
Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Ryan Reynolds deserves to own the rights to that character because he's the reason it happened.
He's the reason the whole thing happened. And
he was there from the beginning.
He's been Deadpool since X-Men Origins.
He never quit. Either.
Yeah.
There were so many times where they've shafted the film, Fox,
to the point that any other actor would quit, but not him.
Yeah, he was. There's a very good video, which I'll try and find so we can link it in the description, which explains how much Ryan Reynolds did for the X-Men. For Deadpool and R-rated films in general. Like, this man has done more than people appreciate.
He's done more than fucking film companies.
He is a fucking golden fucking shining light.
Beacon of R-rated films and freedom in filmmaking in the film industry.
He's the reason so many. Look at how comic book films are now taking risks. I would genuinely put that down to Ryan Reynolds.
Down to Deadpool,
because they literally set the bar. They said you can now take these risks.
Same with Venom.
Yeah.
Although Venom is more of an example of they were this close to greatness, and then studio interference took over.
Yeah, exactly. Venom could have been a fucking good film.
Yeah.
If they allowed the R rating and they allowed more creative control, Venom could have been sick.
Like Ruben Fleischer's a decent. Like, he made Zombieland and then he made some films afterwards. But
I believe Venom vs. Carnage is actually going to be a good film. Now I believe it's going to be good because I genuinely have some weird hope that Sony are going to see people saying, please let the people have creative control. Please put more comedy in it, because there was aspects of comedy
and some of the jokes that Venom did say were funny, like the elevator one.
It was funny
because it's like something that Venom would say. It wasn't memes. It wasn't.
It was actually good. And if I genuinely believe that now we don't have to have a shit origin story, it's gonna do a Deadpool 2. And I have hope.
Yeah, I think with Venom, because Venom 1, I recently rewatched it and I was like, it had sprinkles of a good film.
Yeah, it's a shit origin. It's a boring origin, and not
just a boring origin. I think the film itself, apart from the horror scenes with Venom, it was like.
Did Avi Arad have?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Avi Arad's film.
He was the one that chose what's the name of the fucking. I can't even remember the name of the villain now.
Which one?
The villain.
Oh yeah, him. Riot.
Yeah, Riot. Why they chose Riot for visuals? Because they thought it would look cool.
Yeah, it would look cool. And the fight scene did look cool. And it did look cool. I said there was one moment in that fight scene it looked cool. The rest was like.
I guess.
The rest was like.
I just the only scenes I liked in that film were the Venom scenes where it's Venom.
When Venom against the SWAT team and everything.
Yeah.
That was funny. The whole build up with the elevator when he's like jump, and he just doesn't. He takes the elevator, then he leaves the elevator, and now there's people with guns.
Can you imagine if in the new Sony deal with Marvel do get given Venom, which would be amazing, and we get a Venom Deadpool film?
Whoa.
That would work.
We've had Venom, and we're not Venom. We've had Deadpool and Cable.
Yeah. Now we need Venom and Venom, Spider-Man, and Deadpool.
And Cable, because Cable's with them.
Spider-Man and Deadpool. Wait, but Cable can't be in it, can he?
He can.
But he's Thanos.
So?
What? So you think the same actor would play him?
Well,
we can't. The Cable as well. They cannot redo him.
Yeah.
That's so.
You do
shit.
realize that Peter Dinklage is also he's a dwarf that made the Infinity Gauntlets, and he's the guy who created the Sentinels and X-Men.
Yeah, but it's not the same universe.
I know, but still,
It would be cool. I think they maybe could do it, and then maybe we'd get like a little reference from Deadpool, like a little joke. Like you kind of sound like Thanos.
Like J. Jonah Jameson coming back. To be fair,
I just think Venom and Deadpool would work so well, and I do think that Sony want to not give Venom to Marvel, but allow them to use the rights to boost the character even more, or make a good film.
But to be honest, it is Sony. Sony probably saw the 855 million that Venom made and say, "Oh, they like PG-13 films. Let's keep doing them."
Do you really think they wouldn't have looked at the critiques for it?
No.
Really?
Sony don't give a fuck.
I guess the Amazing Spider-Man showed that, didn't
Marvel, Disney might, but Sony don't give a fuck.
Disney definitely did.
The reason why the Amazing Spider-Man 2 got rebooted wasn't because of the shit critical reception. That was part of the reason, but the film flopped. Yeah. As a byproduct of the shit critical reception.
Venom didn't
flop. Worst thing
we should have let Venom flop. We should have let it flop.
That's why I was like, fucking flop, stop. Stop the Chinese. Like, I was literally saying, China, stop watching the film.
Yeah, literally. Like,
it's like, stop watching the film and enjoying it. Because it'll be like, people will be like, oh, we want more of those films. No, we want a good Venom film. That's what happened with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, flop. It didn't flop. It made so much for DC.
I swear it only made
on the low budget, it made 750 million. That counts as decent.
Oh, I mean, I guess it did come out in 2015,
I know.
Right?
So that is decent for a film like that.
Yeah.
So it was and the shit critical reception. That's the worst thing that could happen to a film. That's why I was with that's an example. An example of that doing well for a company is Transformers. Now, Transformers is the biggest example. It's the only rotten film to make $1 billion. The fourth one. Transformers with Mark. The first one with Mark Wahlberg. That one is awful.
Is that a Dark Knight?
Yeah, no, not the last night. I mean the one before that. That one was Age of Extinction. So, Age of Extinction. It's so
both of them.
Yeah, they're
so
bad and they're so boring
and they're so long. It's like I wanted to fucking kill myself watching them films, dude.
Yeah,
I remember I was sat in the fucking cinema with my friend Aiden.
Yeah,
and we were watching it, and it was like. Is it still going?
Yeah.
It's still going?
Yeah.
And the last night was even worse because that's super long.
So, that
was like, oh my God, why is it this long? What are they even talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in the last night.
I don't know.
Was it Galvatron? Galvatron.
It had
to be Galvatron.
I just remember the aspect ratio kept changing and the cameras kept changing.
It was fucking weird, dude.
But it was like with the film Age of Extinction, while it was shit, it still made 1.1 billion. It was the film that made the most money in 2014, and Paramount saw that and said, people still like Transformers. Let's make exactly the same, but even worse. Michael Bay makes the same film but even worse, and the film flops as a result. That's a wake-up call. That's what caused them to make Bumblebee, which was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much, that's pretty much kind of what I wanted to say about it. We've been doing this. We said it was going to be short, and we're 37 minutes in.
You could go for another 5 just to get in the epilogue.
Yeah.
Where, in general, how do you think they'll introduce Deadpool?
I think what they're going to do is they're going to introduce him, as in people are saying they're going to be introducing him in a film. I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to introduce him on a Hulu series or Disney Plus.
Nah, he's too big for that.
I don't know, but you can have... you do realize that Deadpool, in the lead up to Deadpool 2, he had a short film on YouTube.
I think to suit the character of Deadpool, what they're going to do is throughout some films, in 2 years maybe, or maybe even sooner, they're going to start putting around little hints at Deadpool being in this universe. I don't think there's going to be an origin. I think he's just going to...
He's not going to do origin. He's just going to come in.
Yeah, and that suits the character. And they're going to be like, where the fuck did you come from? But I think what's going to happen... Because, Deadpool likes doing his drawings, yeah? I think we're going to see drawings in backgrounds and shit. Like, that's what I hope. I know they won't do that.
I thought you were going to say they were going to do the drawings as like a backstory, or it's like really badly drawn Deadpool.
No. They're just going to... There's going to be like Deadpool drawings on posters around the cities and shit.
Or like Bad Wolf in Doctor Who.
Yeah. But it's like... And there's going to be like maybe newspaper headlines here and there. But it's only in the background, like little Easter eggs. But I doubt the fuck could do that. But that would be cool.
Might feel, it would be cool. It might feel a bit too on the nose for me. The reason why I said Disney Plus was because the Deadpool had a very low budget, and I mean a very low budget. Ryan Reynolds took a pay cut for that film.
Yes,
like,
he did.
He's a very
he took the pay cut so both directors could work on it. Right?
Yeah, and it was like that film was very cheap. The budget for the first Deadpool film was literally a budget for a TV series, and Deadpool will work so well episodic. An episodic Deadpool with meta humor left, right, and center would work well under a good writer.
But personally, I think Disney value the character.
Imagine like Peep Show kind of writing.
I think, that would be funny as fuck.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Disney will look at this property, the most valuable X-Men, and they will think, we need to make this into a film before he even spoken about TV. Yeah. And they're gonna introduce him in somebody else's film for sure.
Imagine they introduce him in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Nah, just too.
Nah,
then films are gonna be too very, very serious. I think it's gonna be Spider-Man or Ant-Man.
They have to be very careful though. They probably have to do with Ant-Man. Spider-Man is very much still associated with kids. You have to remember.
Oh man, there's gonna be
like, imagine Spider-Man there, and then someone happens.
That's something. How are they gonna tone down Are they gonna tone down swearing?
No, they said they're keeping Deadpool the same. That's the problem. So imagine introducing Spider-Man. Spider-Man's about to.
So if they say fuck, that's a 15 instantly.
Yes,
no.
What a PG-13 film has only one fuck, and two utterances of the word means it's 12. I mean, it means
cunt is a R rating.
Cunt is a R rating or 18 in the UK.
Nah.
Yeah, if you say cunt, it's 18. If you say like thing,
cunt isn't really in America. Oh no, cunt. They do say cunt sometimes. Don't
yeah,
they?
in Kick-Ass, they had to avoid an 18 rating because you had Chloe Grace Moretz saying it.
Really?
Yeah, multiple times.
Fuck. What even happened to
her? She's a tank now.
What do you mean?
No, I'm just referring to the meme where everyone photoshops her as like a buff.
Oh shit, yeah,
dude, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do it very meta.
No, I really think. Imagine Spider-Man's happening. The rating of the film hasn't come out. Everything. It's a short film on YouTube, so there's no rating about it. Spider-Man's doing his thing. He's about to apprehend the villain, and then the villain randomly gets shot in the head.
That'd be sick.
Like villain gets shot in the head, and Spider-Man's suit's covered in blood.
So
are
we gonna? Because they have kind of been upping the violence in Marvel.
Yeah, I know.
They've been the Loki death and the torture scenes. Yeah. I think they're
trying to do as much as they can without blood, so that it doesn't get
there's gonna have to be
so
some
that kids
blood.
don't get scared.
There's gonna have to be some blood soon.
Yeah,
but are they? I doubt they will risk putting blood in Spider-Man.
That would be so funny.
Spider-Man, an R-rated Spider-Man.
Like, because in the Amazing Spider-Man, there was so much blood in that one.
It's a shame Spider-Man has been. This is. I think in the next film the next film of Spider-Man will show where it's going to go. Yeah. Because it's meant to be the film where he becomes an adult. That's what they keep saying.
But I think it will be psychological instead of physical.
But if it's fucked up, that'll be sick. Yeah. If it's going to be
he has to kill Tony Stark in that film.
Oh god, that would be so good.
He kills him brutally.
Oh, they need to do that. But yeah, this was a bit of a shorter episode because we've already recorded and we did just want to touch. We've covered quite a lot.
Say it's short, but we're 42 minutes in.
Exactly.
So that's our standards for shorts, everybody.
Yeah, I just think that I did a little meme list then. George does that. But yeah, I think that they're going to introduce him in a kind of meta way, and then he'll pop up in a film just out of nowhere. Yeah,
but we actually did a lot this episode. We talked about like DC and where they're going. I know we talked about Deadpool and then how it's going to be introduced into the Marvel universe. So should we sign off on there?
Yeah, I think
that's it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Coffee Club podcast. This one, I know, it was a little shorter than the other ones, but I really enjoyed recording this one. I think this is one of our best recordings even then because it was concise and everything. We'll probably have another episode down in a few days and stuff once we watch all of these films that we plan on watching. As usual, we are on SoundCloud, we are on Spotify, we're on iTunes, and you're probably watching this on one of them or you're probably watching it on YouTube. And as always, we'll see you in another episode, and bye.